Hi everyone, it's Matt Bednar with News Channel 20, and I got to speak with a good friend of mine, Paul Juda. Now, Paul Juda is a U.S. Olympian. He made it to Paris in 2024, where he was on the U.S. men's gymnastics team and won a team bronze medal. So I got to sit down with him and talk a little bit about his journey going through high school, his collegiate career, some of the setbacks he's had along the way, and what it was like going through trials and his experience at Paris.
My name is Paul Juda, Pauljuda. I'm a Michigan men's gymnastics team captain, and I'm also a 2024 Olympic bronze team medalist.
Perfect. Okay. Um, so tell me a little bit about yourself, what it was like growing up doing gymnastics. Obviously, I, did it with you, the amount of hours, the amount of commitment it really took to get all that training in. What was that like leading up before going to college?
Yeah, I think I started gymnastics like a lot of other people as they were when they were really young. I had a ton of energy. I was somebody that just loved going to the gym. And it was always fun for me. I never saw it as something as like a sport or even really like a chore. It was just something that I enjoyed doing. And while I was there, I just always felt like my love for the sport was being developed. I was really lucky to have a bunch of really good coaches that cultivated my love for the sport. They taught me so much about the foundations of the sport and all of the basics that go into it. And I was able to cultivate a lot of my energy into that sport too. So growing up, yeah, especially in middle school and definitely high school, I think gymnastics started to get a little bit more serious. By that point, a lot of the kids that I started with had kind of already moved away from gymnastics, and we were down to a really small number of guys that stuck with it. And throughout high school, even more of those guys ended up giving up the sport. But for me, when gymnastics started getting more serious, especially when I got onto the first time for the junior national team, and then, of course, winning a couple of junior Olympic championships, gymnastics was starting to get like more and more serious. Like, hey, I might be able to do something with this in my life. And I think as a little kid, you always think like, oh, the Olympics, you watch it on TV and whatnot. But until you really start getting into the sport, I don't think you realize how possible that really is. And so throughout high school, I would always have in middle school parents and teachers and everybody that I knew be like, hey, you going to go to the Olympics? You're going to go to the Olympics? And I'd always said, yeah, of course, I want to and whatnot. But you don't really know what that takes when you're that age. But throughout high school, I think I was like any other student athlete. Except for the fact that I did gymnastics at a club and not the high school. My nights were long. They were 6 to 10 p.m. was gymnastics practice. If you're wondering where social life or homework came in, those somehow fit the schedule. But I was almost always the in school friend. Didn't hang out too much outside of the gym, outside of the school. But those competitions started to get a little bit more serious, and as I got older in high school, like sophomore, junior, and senior year, I was getting recruited for college, and I luckily got a full ride to the University of Michigan, where I was able to continue to develop into my gymnastics, and ultimately lead me to some great things.
Okay. That's awesome to hear. So when you were deciding for schools, was there any particular reason why you picked Michigan over some other schools?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So like almost every young kid my generation, we loved Sam McCulloch. He was a role model for me now. He was actually my coach at the Olympics, which is awesome. And but his success at Michigan was always something that I thought was incredible. I didn't know too much about schools, but those colors, the maize and blue, always looked really cool. And watching him do so well with his team, winning all around and team competitions, I always thought, what a cool place that would be. I'd love to be like Sam. I'm sure many young gymnasts wanted to get his hair cut and do the gymnastics just like him. So I think that was the first draw. And then when I was really actually going into deciding which schools to go to and weighing my options as I was being recruited, I went into three categories really. And it was the social life, which is the life outside of the gym, the academics, and obviously the gymnastics. And so when I looked at Michigan, it was the perfect trifecta. I thought I've got the best type of people. the University of Michigan grads. We like to call ourselves Michigan men and women, and that moniker holds true. We're the best of the best. The academics are second to none. We love our academics here. It's a hard school, but it's worth it in the end. In the end, and our four straight Big Ten championships, and my ability to have gone to the Olympics, and my coach's dreams, and me, and everything that my teammates do. I mean, the gymnastics speaks for itself. So I found myself in the perfect place.
College career, what was your main goal while at Michigan? Did you achieve it as well?
Yeah, I would say that my main goals changed over so many periods. You come in and you have these really big expectations that you set for yourself because you were granted so much money, and you've got a full scholarship, and you feel like you've got to live up to it. The last thing that you want to do is be a wasted scholarship. So I think as a freshman and as a sophomore, when you're adjusting to that college life, you're just trying to make yourself useful. You're just trying to be a full scholarship athlete. You're literally just trying to be worth what they paid for you. And so I struggled with that definitely my freshman and sophomore year, just trying to get into the groove of being a college student, figuring out my life, and trying to get back to how good I was in high school in gymnastics and whatnot. And so I struggled with that for a while, but luckily we were able to snag to a Big Ten title. And I thought, okay, hey, I really enjoy this aspect of winning with a team. And so since that first Big Ten title, my eyes have been set on that team NCAA championship, and we have yet to achieve it. I've got my last attempt this year, and I'm really looking forward to competing in Ann Arbor with my team. In terms of individual accomplishments, I think I can't be more proud of what I've done so far. I would trade every individual accolade though for that team title. Whether it's the NCAA all around championship, the Olympic team, the world team, the senior national team member, the Heisman, I would trade all of that for a team title. And so it's been awesome to achieve those things individually, but I have yet to feel what it's like to hold that NCAA trophy above our heads with the confetti raining down on us. I'm really hoping for that this year.
That's awesome. So you are competing next year again?
Yep, yep. My last year of collegiate eligibility, sixth year of school. Oh my gosh.
Um, Might just be a little too early in terms of the interview. I'm going to ask it anyways. Are you planning on continuing after next year?
Oh, it's a tough question. Tough question. I'm taking it day by day. I like to say that we don't earn every day, and every day that we wake up is a big blessing. And so to have accomplished so much and so early in my lifetime, at many stages in my life, I've already been ready to kind of say, hey, if gymnastics were to end tomorrow for any reason, I would be okay with it. And luckily, that kind of repertoire of stuff continues to add up, and it keeps being a better and better reason to or keeps giving me a more and more reason to be more and more fulfilled for my career. So whether or not I continue in gymnastics, I know that I'll be doing my most uh, to help Team USA get another medal at the 2028 Olympics. So if I'm on the team, I'm on the team. And if not, I'm going to be supporting in any way that I can.
Sounds good. So I know kind of jumping all over the place, but I just
You're good.
figured I asked that. But I want to go back. So obviously COVID hit. 2020 was a whole different scheme in terms of the Olympics was going on, got pushed to 2021. What was that like? And what was the process of not only getting ready for the Olympics, but also going to world events like the Pan Ams and
Yeah.
everything that went around kind of that?
Yeah, yeah. So when COVID hit, it was obviously super tough. I saw a lot of my teammates at Michigan careers end kind of without notice. And it was really scary to see that gymnastics could be taken from us just like that for any reason. And so that gave me a lot of motivation to kind of be very dedicated every single day that I'm in the gym, to know that not every day is granted, and that we have to make the most of every day possible. So when I was able to get a whole nother year to prepare for the Olympics, I thought this is going to be great for me. I'm hitting my stride, but another year of development, it's going to be perfect for my gymnastics and for my mental strength and for my mental conditioning and everything. My body's going to be more prepared, but I ended up falling short. But before that, I actually went to the Pan American Championships and got second in the all around in Brazil. And that granted Team USA the ability to bring another athlete to the Olympics. Unfortunately, as a Michigan man, I'm a bit salty. It went to an Ohio State Buckeye, but nonetheless, I was really proud to bring home something for Team USA that I could talk about for years to come. A lot of my teammates, especially Fred Richard, always pushes me to say, but you got to be chasing after the cooler thing. And so now I'm happy to be able to share the story about the Olympics. But falling short of the 2021 team gave me nothing but motivation. I was really distraught after not making the team. I had a really poor competition myself, so I can't say that it was at all, by like the decision was wrong. I had a bad meet, and that was that. But I vowed to myself that the next trials that I go to, I wasn't just going to take part. And so definitely from 2021 on, I made sure to be very prepared for every big competition. And I'm really happy to say in my biggest moments, I've been able to do really good for myself and for Team USA. And yeah, but 2021 missing that team, it gave me a lot of motivation to come back even stronger for 2024.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually had it written down in my notes. Like after not being selected, was this the motivation you needed to
Yeah,
continue to push?
yeah,
I figured that would be exactly what you would say. Um, so going from the end of 2021 and leading up to that, no more COVID, everything should be going pretty smoothly for Paris in 2024. What was that like, those 2 years, kind of
yeah.
short jump between the Olympics? What was that kind of like?
Yeah, so I knew after the 2021 falling short that I wanted to come back and come back even stronger in 24. And luckily, it wasn't a full quadrennium; it was only 3 years. So I thought, okay, I've got a bunch of time, but not too much time. But I've got enough time to stay in my prime. A couple guys were going to retire, so I thought, okay, here we go. Let's get after it. I can be on that team if I do all the right things possible. But of course, it didn't come without the bumps and bruises. So in 2022. That following year, I won the NCAA all around, and I thought I'm hitting my stride now. I remember that competitive season was phenomenal for myself. I fell once or twice out of like 60 plus routines, and I thought this is going to be my exponential kind of rocket ship to like stardom and being really at the top of the game. And not 3 months or 4 months later, I'm at the U.S. Trials or U.S. Classic, I'm sorry, in Salt Lake City, and I bust my knee. And I go, okay, well, here's trial tribulation number one. You got to be grateful that it's nothing major. I thought when it happened, when the injury happened, it was a hyperextension on the floor. I thought, there goes my ACL. There goes another, like, whatever year or something of my time. Luckily, it was only a bad bone bruise, but still, it was a trial and tribulation nonetheless. And I had to come back. I was granted the ability to be named to the national team despite the injury. And I was able to try out for the world team that summer in 2022. I fell short of the trials. I messed up at the trials again. But if I'm being 100% honest, I wasn't in my best shape. So it was kind of just an opportunity to get my name out there, but I was really grateful that they had selected me. But what I learned really early on, especially at that trials, was that my mainstay and the reason that I was going to make any big team in the future was going to be because of pommel horse and high bar. And I thought, and I remember leaving the doctor's office and coming to the gym after I got hurt in 22 and writing on my locker, pommel horse and high bar, know your purpose. And it's still up there in my locker. And I remember, okay, if I'm going to go to trials for the 2022 world team and I'm not able to do floor involved and I'm not able to be a full all-arounder, I'm going to nail the crap out of my pommel horse and high bar routines. I did not great at that trials. Like I said, I wasn't in my peak shape, but I knew what my role should be on that team. Fast forward to around December of that year, January, around the midpoint, I had pretty much healed back from my injury. About 3 or 4 months had taken place. I was starting to get into my stride again. My knee was feeling really good. Right as the new year hits, I roll my ankle really badly and it swells up to the size of a softball. And I thought, trial and tribulation number two. Here we go. That was a really grueling injury. I had injured that ankle prior years ago, and it was just it was brutal because I was just feeling like I had just finished an injury, and I thought I want to be back in my shape. and good in my form. But again, it taught me to take my time. It taught me to love the sport again, and it forced me to work on my weaknesses again, high bar and pommel horse. And then so finally, I'm recovered from that injury, and my coaches and I decide let's maybe make a run at the national championship as a team because it's a great opportunity for us this year. That night before the national championship, so this is now April, another 3 or 4 months I had healed from my injury. I win the Heisman for the men's gymnastics team for gymnastics, and I don't think that had ever been given out to anybody that hadn't competed. And I thought, okay, this is the time of my life. I'm going to win this amazing award, and then I'm going to go in and win the team championship. And during the warm up of that competition, I get a concussion and I injure my entire right hand. And I thought, trial and tribulation number three. I mean, can we stop getting hurt? And it really felt like I couldn't go through an entire 3 month stretch without being severely injured. And that forced me to really take a step back because now we were only about a year and a half out from the Olympics. So honestly, only like a year. And I had to really dial in my training because now it was no longer a laughing matter. I had to be healthy for a continuous stretch. And so I dialed in that entire summer, just focused on my work, went back to the gym, and just tried to get healthy. I wasn't able to train a lot of my hand events because of my fingers, but I was able to really push pommel horse and high bar and vault. And those three events were actually the main reason that I made the national team, the world team that summer. We went to the World Championships in Antwerp, Belgium in 2023, and I got my first taste of success and being a part of a medal winning team with Team USA. And I thought, this can't get much better. Life like this sure is amazing. And so fast forward, starting the NCAA season in 24, knowing it's an Olympic year, it's a big year, and we go to the Winter Championship in Kentucky, and my elbow flares up, and I think, is there anything worse that could happen 6 months before the Olympics? I can't imagine not competing. I wanted to be in the best shape. I wanted to win the winter championship and propel myself just right away, start with my name being prominent and making that Olympic team. Unfortunately, God had other plans, and I had to take the slow route, and I had to scratch that competition, knowing full well that, hey, I'm only really going to have two shots at making this Olympic team. I trusted my training, and I went really diligently, really slow throughout the rest of the year. And at the U.S. Championships, I fell on one of my best events early on in the competition. I fell on high bar. And I remember going to the bathroom and thinking, are you just going to let I'm so sorry. I didn't fall on high bar. I fell on wait. Oh my God, wait. Where did I fall? Sorry, time out.
No, you're good, dude. I could clip it. You're
Oh
fine.
no, wait. I think I fell actually not on high bar.
You want
Wait,
me
did I fall on high bar?
to
No, I don't even know. I was in such a mode. I knew
USA
exactly what it was.
Championships this year, right? Yeah.
This year, I know I fell on vault, but I wasn't sure if that's all that I fell on.
Um, you said earlier that you hit 10 of your 12.
Is 10 of my 12 or 11 of my 12?
The earlier conversation we had, you said 10 out of your 12, I want to say.
Let me look at this. Okay, here it is. I have all the scores. Wait. Okay. U.S. National Championship. Dude, I think
Let's look.
okay, results. Here we go. Paul Juda. Okay, 14.75,
Yeah, you fell on high bar.
13.9. I did. I fell on high bar and vault. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
that makes sense. 12.
There we go. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I was right. Okay. I forgot that I fell on vault as well. So sorry. Clip. And we're back. And I actually had a mistake on one of my major good events, which was high bar. And I thought, is this over already? And I remember coming back and thinking, okay, I've got another whole day of competition and then 2 more days at trials. And we only need to hit all of the rest of the sets. I let go of my room for error. And I remember just dialing it in, coming back home after US championships with a vengeance, being like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to train hard, and I'm going to have a great US Olympic trials. And I had learned so much from that 2021 trials that I was able to bring to 2024 trials. Funny enough, just serendipitous, we're in the same hotel room that we were at in Minneapolis for the U.S. trials that were here now for the U.S. The Gold Over America tour. So coming into trials, I just wanted to do my job. I wanted to hit all of my routines and let the rest fall where they were. I've always found, in my experience, the best competitions are the ones where I have no expectations going in. I just focus on my gymnastics. And I did that this trials, and I was able to make the Olympic team. And I think you had mentioned you wanted to hear a little bit about like that the background while we were there.
Yeah, so I was going to
Background.
say next, you went through the meet
Yeah.
very well. I was watching it here at work. I was, you know, I was so I was so ready just to hear your voice getting called, and um, just kind of what I was going through, and this is why I kind of asking this was I watched them march some of the guys into a tunnel with their warm-ups on.
Yeah.
Didn't see you in that group. So
Okay.
I instantly thought you didn't make it. And I went, no way. I want to know what was going on behind the scenes, how
Yeah.
the people were back there, and what was it like getting called first?
Yeah, so I was actually one of the first people that walked out of the arena. So that's probably why we didn't get the cameras on us too quickly. I remember that sorry, this I thought I was gonna like this. I don't like it as much. Um I remember as soon as we finished vault, so I practically stuck my vault, and I thought, I don't even care at this point if I make the team or not. I did my job. I hit all my routines. I had a killer meet, and I'm happy. Like I can leave this trials knowing full well that I did everything that I need to. And so after we're sitting down and we're chilling, I find out that my coaches, they knew that we had made the team, Fred and I. And he told me later on, he was just looking at me and he goes, this guy's on the Olympic team and he doesn't even know it. And I thought, that's awesome, you know? But so we get marched out and we go to a back room, and it's everyone that competed at the competition. And we're sitting there for about 10-15 minutes, and they go, all right, here is your Olympic team. And I mean, my heart's out of my chest. But I also remember at the same time, I was really calm before the Olympic team was announced because I knew, you know what, man, at the end of the day, it ain't over till it's over. And I was really happy with my performance, and no one was going to be able to take that away from me. So when they came out though and they started reading, they said, congratulations to everyone. So proud of everyone's performance. Everyone did a wonderful job. I think it was also really good because everyone was healthy. We had no injuries at the U.S. trials, which was fantastic. And as soon as they said, "And here's your Olympic team," and they went, "Huh," I freaked out. I instantly started bawling. As soon as I heard the first syllable of my name, Paul, I knew it was me. And yeah, I'll remember that forever. I got the biggest hug from my best friend Cameron Bach right there because we kind of knew that it was going to be one or the other of us. And as soon as my name was called, it was pretty evident that he wasn't going to make it. But he was so proud of me, gave me the biggest hug, and just loved me in that moment. And I remember my coaches hugged me, Fred hugged me, and I just thought, oh my God, life's insane. Like, and then as soon as we got named, we had to rush out and get suited up and be announced on the floor. So you didn't really even have like 90 seconds to be excited. I didn't text anybody. I wanted it all to be a surprise. But man, I was really, really emotional in that moment. It just felt like all of those years of sacrifice, all those trials and tribulations I had just talked about over those 3 years and missing the team in 2021, all of that was worth it in that moment. Because then as soon as you got announced and you got your bouquet of flowers, it all made sense. It was all worth it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember like watching you go out first and just, seeing the emotions go through you, it made me tear up as well as it's making me tear up now just thinking about it. Um, so that was obviously an awesome experience. What was it like just life after you know that you're well, no matter what, now you're an Olympian, you have that
Yeah.
title under your bag. What was it like the couple weeks going in before heading out to Paris?
Yeah, yeah. You make a great point because as much fun as it was to make the team, you come back and you realize there's a lot of Olympians in this world, but there aren't a lot of Olympic medalists. And it's funny because it's like, when do you stop comparing? When do you stop chasing the next title? Because it's like, dude, you already hit the upper echelon, and now you're going to hit the upper echelon. But I think we had known as a national team that there was a lot of pressure on us to bring home a medal this year, and we knew that whatever team that we selected was capable of it. And we just kind of had to do our job. Luckily, we had a veteran on the team, Brody Malone, who had gone to 2021 and came short and didn't have a medal. And he kept us kind of steadfast in that, hey, it's way cooler to come home with a medal. like let's go there, let's be Olympians, and we are Olympians, but Olympic medalists is way better. And it makes it for a much better story. So you got to celebrate. I got to see my family, my friends, and whatnot when I came home. But then those couple weeks leading up, I mean, we had about a week off, and then it was July 4th, and it was my birthday on July 7th, and then we were done, and we had to go right back to work. And looking back on that, I was so glad that I did take the time though to admit that I was an Olympian, and enjoy that little bit of time, because without that, I don't think I would have been able to. I don't think I would have enjoyed the Olympics as much. I was coming in with a cup full of gratitude already. I You couldn't have asked me more. I deep down I knew the mission was to get a medal, but dude, you only get to make the Olympics once in your life, really. And if you're not there having fun, why are you there? And so I was definitely the guy that was having the most amount of fun there. And even preparing for the Olympics, I thought this isn't a grind. This is just cherry on top. This is what needs to get done. And so going there and being all prepared, I thought, all right, I'm already an Olympian. Can't take that away from me. I already won life. Now I just get to have fun and wear a Team USA uniform and be watched by millions and millions of people. So, yeah, it was an experience of a lifetime for sure.
All right. Yeah, I bet. I mean, I remember I was trying to get a hold of you during that time frame. And I was literally thinking, I was like, he's an Olympian. I should interview him. And then I kind of thought, why don't I just
Yeah,
wait to
yeah.
see what happens? And obviously, I'm glad I did because now,
Hey, let's go.
now, now it's not just an Olympian, and now it's an Olympic medalist.
And it really does come with a lot more, like a lot more.
So you get to Paris. You stayed in the village, right?
Yep, yep.
What was that like, that experience? Because you arrived pretty much the same time I did, and it was about 5 days before anything really got started. What was just kind of adjusting the time switch, everything like that?
Yeah, yeah. We were able to come about, excuse me. We were able to come about a week earlier and train in a village a little bit south. I can't remember if it was south or north of France, but you get into the village and it's definitely that unique experience. But you're surrounded by so many different athletes and all these different sports and all these different countries. And it's a lot to take in originally. And at times you kind of go, well, how is everyone already acclimated? We're like the first or second day here. But there are a lot of repeat Olympians that know kind of the lay of the land, and but we just tried to kind of stay in our bubble, try not to get too fed up in any of the nonsense that was going on around. Just focus on our mission, and we knew that hey, if all goes well, we'll be celebrities forever. So let's just focus on our mission now, and then we can worry about having all the parading and the fun time after. And that's what we did. The village was, we kind of just saw it as a means to an end. We had to sleep there, we had to stay there, and we had to transport from there to the village, or excuse me, to the training and to the competition. And that's what we did. And afterwards, then we got to have that fun.
That first competition, what was your goal going into day one? And coming out of it, it seemed like you were the star on the team. Now, everyone was talking about Paul Juda. Everyone was talking about that. What was it like? Did you meet your goals going into day one?
Yeah, yeah. I think I knew going in that I was probably going to be one of the earlier guys in the lineup, especially on pommel horse, which we started on. And I just had really small goals that meet. Again, it was kind of just like trials. I had a feeling that Fred and Brody were going to do really good, and be our main two all-arounders. So I just kind of was thinking, hey, I'll just go toe to toe with these guys. Like I'll just try and fight at my weight class. And and that's what I did. I had no major errors, and that's really what my only goal was. And have a lot of fun. I tried to take in the content, take in the cameras, enjoy that moment. Don't be scared of it. If at any point when you got scared, just go bigger because it's better to go big and fall than go small and reserved and fall. And so that's what I was doing. And as I look back on that, I go, it's exactly what I did. I enjoyed every moment. I had a lot of fun and I hit all my routines.
All right. So I know not everyone, had the best day one, but the team still did well enough to
Yeah.
get into that finals. The day or so between that, what was the atmosphere between you guys? Did it change before you guys had that competition compared to after, or was it kind of the same mentality?
Yeah, I think it had just gotten really real for a lot of people. Especially for me at least. I thought, okay, hey, cool. I got an individual accolade done. Like I'm going to be able to compete in the all around, but that really didn't matter at all. It was about solidifying our lineups and solidifying our plan for the team final because we knew, hey, we were able to have some hiccups in that first day, but team finals there was going to be no room for error. And I can't be more proud of these guys. We went 18 for 18 with no major errors. We had a bunch of stuck landings. I mean, it was the ultimate day of competition. We started hot and we kept burning hot. We had a lot of really good advice from a lot of those coaches that were with us that said, "Hey, when the competition starts, we start out hot," and that's what we did.
Yeah, I think I remember were you the first one to compete on the team?
Not on rings, not on
Okay,
rings.
you were on
That
vaults and you
on vault,
stuck
yeah,
your vault,
yeah.
and that was just like, okay,
I
this
yeah, that's
this
I.
is
It's
it.
funny you say that. After Brody and I stuck and Asher landed his vault really cleanly, I thought, are we gonna win this thing? So it was yeah, we that competition was some of the most fun I've ever had. And I tried to be that kind of jokester in the group, just keep everything light. And when we needed to be serious, I was able to dial it in. But at the same time, I go, guys, it's the Olympics, scared money don't make money, and we're gonna have some fun. So that's what we did. That's what we did.
And going into that last event, man, when I saw the lineup ending on pommel horse, I was just like, I don't know what to think. I was like,
Yeah.
no, we're gonna finish with Steven. What was it like going into that last event, knowing that you had the chance of bring home the first medal since 2008?
Yeah, you're kind of thinking like what dreams are made of, right? Every kid wishes for this moment. I don't know how many kids wish that it would be on pommel horse though. And especially, I mean, I'm sure like when we grew up, all of us hated horse. It was the event that we fell on the most, and it's always a nerve-wracking event. So take whatever amount of nerves that you get on an average pommel horse routine at some random competition and crank it up to about 1,000 for an Olympic medal. And I just remember Asher Hong coming up to me. I think he could tell I was starting to get pretty nervous before my routine. And he kind of grabbed me by the shoulders and said, "Hey, man, you're the man for the job. We trust you. We love you. Go out and like hit that set. You're going to have so much fun." And I thought, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. I needed that last little ounce of like this team believes in me and I believe in them and they've believed in me all the way. They want me up there. They believe I should be up there. I've got it now. And having that kind of life on that team and that brotherhood, man, when I saluted, I didn't even feel a thing. I blacked out. I knew that my team had me. And I blacked out a little too hard. I did a couple extra flares before my first skill. And I thought, hey, this is not the time to fall. This is not the time to start joking around and messing about. So to stay on the horse and getting into those last two or three skills, I go, oh my God, I'm doing it. And this is it. This is what dreams are made of. I still look back on that video and watch myself doing that routine. It's just nuts to me that I was able to do that. Sometimes I think about how far I've gone in my gymnastics journey, and the kid that started gymnastics, there's no way he was able to do that. So it just goes to show, like you put in as much work as possible, and you stay honest, and you do your job. You never know how far your journey can take you.
So once you knew Steven landed it, pretty much the
Yeah.
medal was secure, just depending on what China and Japan did, which
Um,
medal you were to get. What was that feeling holding the American flag, being there
oh,
on the podium? Just I can't even think of how else to put it. What was that feeling?
yeah, yeah. So we're celebrating in the back room, going nuts. Obviously, like we're screaming USA. We're loving it. Um, there's a meme that's always circled around, and it's a guy that's gets medaled, popping champagne, biting it, going crazy, and then they zoom out, and he's on third. And I couldn't have thought of a more like accurate depiction. When you're standing on that podium and you see the medal bearers come out with the platter, you're going, "Oh my God, they're going to give that to me. That's literally going to be mine in about 2 minutes." And they crown you and they shake your hand, and you're like, "I'm leaving with this today." And then you watch your flag go up. It's hard to not feel like it was gold. I know it was bronze, but standing on on that podium, every kid wishes to be there. Every single kid that does gymnastics or any Olympic sport dreams to be there in that one day. And so to be there and be there with such great people and to know that it was a collective effort, that we're all standing up there, a dream come true. Dream come true.
All right, last question before we switch over to another
Yeah.
one. Do you have the medal on you?
No, I wish. I didn't travel with it. I wanted to keep it safe at home. I wish.
It being the first medal since 2008, what does that not only mean to you, but what does it mean to the sports of men's gymnastics in the US?
Yeah. I think we don't even really fully feel all the reverberations of how big this medal really is. I remember sitting in that room with the boys after we got the medal and being like, I don't think we know how big this is. Like, I don't think we'll ever feel how big this is. But in our lifetime, I think we'll hopefully start to see a big influx of men's gymnasts. I think the team that we had there um, had everybody there was somebody on that team for everybody. I think everybody could see themselves in somebody's shoes there. We weren't all prototypical people. We were such a diverse group of people. We've got Fred, an African American. We've got me, a son of immigrants. We've got an Asian American, Asher Hong. We've got Steven, that kind of quirky, nerdy guy. And we've got Brody Malone, just your standard, like, American man. So I think that we just had so many people that people could kind of see themselves as and like different, not necessarily even role models, but just like people that they could relate to. And I've heard from so many different people that there's a plethora of kids, young guys that are like, man, I want to do gymnastics. That looks fun. That looks like something that I want to be a part of. And so to be those kind of role models and to set that kind of example, I hope I mean maybe this is egotistical, but I hope in some time in my life that I'm that Sam McCulloch was for me, for these young kids. And that all of us are, and that they continue to bring home medals, and that every year now, hey, USA Gymnastics is going to be a part of it. These young club coaches, these or young club kids who don't have much knowledge about gymnastics but want to start again or now their dream exists because of it. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I don't think I really truly understand how big the impact is, but I'm sure we'll know in our generation. I hope. Maybe that'd be dope.
Yeah, I hope so too. For go out, is there anything you else you want to say? Could be anything about your experience, anything that you hope that the viewers could take away. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I would say gymnastics seems to be in the spotlight right now, and that's only because we're 2 months out of the Olympics, and it's still fresh in everybody's mind. And but in reality, it's never been like that. Gymnastics is usually not at the forefront of people's attention. And we never really had a celebrity like we do with Steven and Arasic. So I encourage people to stay involved in the sport. hopefully as the years go on, we change a little bit about how we market the sport and how much attention is around it naturally. But there's a lot of really good stories on the men's gymnastics team. The women have their own successes and their own stories, and they're phenomenal in their own ways. But the men also have a lot of really good stories. And if you've resonated with anything that I've said so far, all of the guys are like this. We all have very similar stories, but they're all unique in their own ways. Um, and that NCAA gymnastics as well is a dying sport, and all of the success and things that we've learned from our sports have all come from NCAA. All five of the Olympic team members were on the NCAA in some NCAA program, and so I hope that this sport never dies in the NCAA, and that it needs to exist if we want more Olympic medals to come and more of these awesome Team USA rah rah moments. So yeah, just keep the attention on us. Keep men's gymnastics is live and well. Join men's gymnastics if you're a young kid. I'd love that. And yeah, just continue to be great and keep supporting us. We love it.
Thanks for watching. Stick around by subscribing today and don't miss a single video.